not a prerequisite. You do not need to spend a bunch of money on ads. You don't need to buy a bunch of posts about yourself. You don't need to hire fancy videographers. You don't need to build an office. You don't need to spend a bunch of money. You don't have to buy camera equipment because you can use an iPhone or an Android. Almost all of the social media content that you're going to create while building your brand is based on things that you already do in your normal life, or it's things that fit into your normal life already, and you're just spending a little extra time each day to do it. But how to not be overwhelmed, which we'll get to in a minute, there's ways you can do it where you do all the content on one day, like a Sunday, and then you just use that for the next week or two. But we'll get to that later. So, money is not a prerequisite. This is very important because it's one of the most major excuses of why people don't do more social media, why they don't go build their personal brand, why they don't go to more events and create content, because they think they need to be a multimillionaire. They think they have to post private jets and Lamborghinis. That is absolutely, positively not true. I have never posted a private jet. I've never posted a Lamborghini or any car because that is not the point of social media for me. If it's the point of social media for you and you can afford those luxuries, great, go for it, more power to you. But that is not a prerequisite to building a personal brand. Personal brands come from performance and stories. People buy into your story. They want to watch your content because they relate to it, there's something cool about it, there's something they can learn from it, you're providing value to them. The value you provide is something that they can take in mentally or emotionally, or they can put into action in their own life. What do I mean by all of that? If you're a real estate agent, you should be talking about content to teach people about the real estate industry. How to flip houses, how to buy low, how to sell high, how to do mortgages, why do you need a notary, all the little aspects in your business that you might think are mundane and boring, those are the type of things you should be talking about in your social media, and it costs you nothing because you're already a real estate agent. You're already going to go to your office, you're already going to go to your listings, you're already going to be doing all these things. Now you're just pulling out your phone to record that content. Money is not a prerequisite. If you're already going to go to eat and you happen to want to take a picture of your food because it looks cool, or you want to do a video about why this meal is important to you, that's something that you were already going to do. That doesn't take money. If you were going to go to a live event, you don't have to spend money on it. I'm not saying go get front row tickets at the Jay-Z concert just so you can post on the front row to build your personal brand. That is not a necessity whatsoever. It just isn't. You can go to the same concert you were already going to go to and create content how you used to listen to Jay-Z back when you were in high school and why you look up to him and why he's an entrepreneur, how he built his business, how he married Beyonce, and why she built her business and her career and her personal brand. And all of a sudden, your normal concert experience that you were already going to go to is not becoming a new cost. There's very little, if at all, that needs to become a new cost. You don't have to go travel to Milan to go film content. It's just unnecessary. You can travel 20 minutes away in most cities because you've never even gone. You live in Los Angeles or you live in Wichita, Kansas, or Phoenix, Arizona, or New York, or Miami. You probably don't even do any of the tourist stuff because you live there so long. But do you understand that most of these cities, people are coming in to be tourists to go look around your town, and you're not creating content at any of those places because you're bored of it? You've never gone to it because it's too easy or it's too local for you, or you went there once when you were a kid or 11 years ago and you just don't ever go back. But going to those tourist locations is a fantastic way to create content. It's evergreen content because people search for it as well. So if you live in Las Vegas and you go out and drive a couple hours away and you go to the Grand Canyon and you film a bunch of content there, take a bunch of photographs there, and do all the different touristy things at the Grand Canyon, now when people search for certain things, if your hashtags line up, you gain followers for years to come. If you create good content and it's up on YouTube, etc., and it lives for years and people search Grand Canyon tour, and you post your video up there and you have the right wording, it lives on for years and you gain personal branding from that. And then you drive back to Las Vegas where you live, and you probably haven't done a ton of the things that are there in Las Vegas. That applies to most major metropolitan cities. You're just not doing the things that are already in your town. And it's not the things that cost money. What does it cost to go to the Grand Canyon? The gasoline. What does it cost to go to the beach and create content on the beach, if that's a city that's near you? or an area that's near you. If you live near a forest, drive to the forest, create content, go mushroom hunting. Go talk about trees. Go talk about things in the experience. Go find a cabin. Go get a tent. There's just so many things that you're just not doing because you think you just want to be at home, or your office job is boring, or your personal training job is boring. It's boring to you because you've done it for the last 8 years. But for the followers that you have, the personal brand that you're building, you doing that personal training job, you being a real estate agent, you being a nurse, you being a stockbroker, you being a chef, these are all interesting things. If you're building a business and you're an entrepreneur and you're drop shipping and you're doing e-commerce and Shopify and selling t-shirts and jerseys, that is interesting to us. We want to see your daily life. We want to see you build that business from $8,000 the first month, $21,000 the second month, then you had a drop, and why did you have a drop down to $10,000? Why are you scrambling? Show the truth. Show the truth. You don't have to say, I'm doing $1 million a month like every other kid on social media. You don't need to. Money is not a prerequisite. It's not. You don't even need it as a luxury. If you happen to be traveling, you happen to have a cool car, you happen to have some crazy watch or some crazy gadgets, great. Those are things you're going to post once in a blue moon. Social media content, you have to post 365 times a year. You need 365 to over 1,000 posts for the year. You think money is going to make you your watch or your car or your private jet or your trip is going to fill up your whole year? It's not. Those 4 or 5 fancy things I just said, that's 10 or 15 posts. You need to do 400 to 1,000 posts. That's less than 1%. It doesn't make any sense for people to be fearful of just creating their social media to build their personal brand because they think they need to spend a bunch of money when you don't.